Hi everyone, I'd like to welcome you to my channel. My name is Rex de Guzman. I'm a chef and I want to teach you about Filipino cuisine and how to cook it. It's my mission to popularize Filipino food here in London and the UK, and one of the ways that I want to do that is by educating you about Filipino food, flavors and culture. On the first episode today, we're going to be making chicken inasal, which is a Filipino grilled chicken. Chicken inasal basically originates from an island called Bacolod, which is in the Visayan region of the Philippines, and it's simply a coconut vinegar marinated chicken which is grilled on your barbecue. But as we're indoors today, we're going to be doing it in a frying pan, a grill pan, or you could even do it in the oven. So I'm going to first show you how to do the marinade. Okay, so the ingredients you'll need for this recipe are red onion, you've got ginger, lime, a little bit of red chilli. This is optional. If you want to take that out, you can. And of course some garlic, and of course lemongrass. And then we've got coconut vinegar. The secret ingredient is actually Sprite. We've got unsalted butter as well. And of course you're going to need chicken. So I've got some fresh chicken thighs here. So we're gonna have a boneless chicken inasal. If you wanna just marinate it, get it done, you can keep the bone in, but I'm gonna show you how to debone the chicken as well. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna prep this marinade. We're gonna start with the red onion here. Got a little rubbish bowl. Probably for this recipe we'll only need half the red onion. So I'm going to show you a little hack way that I was taught to peel ginger. So most people use a peeler to peel the ginger, and I was taught by a chef, a friend of mine called Luke. He taught me to peel it with a spoon, because using a spoon you get inside all those crevices. Often when people use the peeler, they'll miss that and then you'll get like little bits of skin inside. So using a spoon, I can simply scrape. You're able to go around the ginger nicely. A lot of people will just cut around the ginger as well, and that leaves so much wastage. So using a spoon and just taking a little bit more time, you get kind of nice, very well prepared pieces of ginger. One of the trademarks with Filipino cuisine is never wasting anything. So we always do our best to try and find out how we can utilize what we think is waste and how we can turn it into a different dish. And it's so important now today with sustainability and recycling stuff. So our garlic's just there. Gonna use all of that. We also have our chili. So this is optional. If you want the chili, you can put it in. I'm just gonna quickly chop that. That's our chili. With the lemongrass, we wanna pound that. So we're just gonna lightly beat it with the back of the knife. It's starting to break down. You just take a lovely whiff of that, and you'll smell so much of that lemongrass fragrance. Amazing, really good stuff, really powerful. So that's the lemongrass done. We've got a lime here, so I'm gonna just quickly roll it. So rolling it on the chopping board before you cut it, it just helps to release that much excess juice. So we just cut that in half, and that's the ingredients for the marinade. So we're gonna take the red onion, do a kind of a medium dice. As I said, it's just the marinade at this point, so we're just breaking down the ingredients so that we can use the flavor from them. So red onion goes into our little container. We'll take some ginger here. I think I'll use all this ginger. Just cut that down. Right, ginger goes in. We've got our garlic. So the garlic, which is peeled here, crushing the garlic just helps to release those aromas and flavors out. And in Filipino cooking, garlic is used a lot. That's why we always get loads of flavor. So once it's crushed, just wanna probably just once chop it through, and then the garlic can go in. We've got our chili, which I've already sliced here. I'm gonna leave ours in, that can go in. Lemongrass here, so we'll take these bulbs. Just make sure you get all of that. And that's already smelling so fragrant already. And then we've got our coconut vinegar. So this is about 250 to 300 ml. So we're gonna pop that in. It goes in. We've got our Sprite, which is basically about the same amount, which we're gonna also put in. And then we will put our limes. So traditionally in the Philippines, we would use a fruit called calamansi. So calamansi is like it's kind of a really small version of this, but it's kind of a cross between an orange and a lime. So it's got like those citrusy notes. It's amazing. We use it in all of Filipino cooking in the Philippines. It's a bit difficult to get here in the UK, so lime juice is a great alternative. With the coconut vinegar, if you don't have that, you can get like most coconut vinegar or Filipino vinegars in your Asian supermarkets. So if you check Chinatown, if you go to Siwu or Wing Yip, you'd be able to find them there. If not, on my street food stall, Turo Turo, which is where we serve this dish, I actually use cider vinegar as an alternative. At this point, your marinade's done. Now we've got our chicken, so it could be chicken leg, chicken wings. I've got thighs, but now I'm going to show you how to prepare the thighs. So now we're going to debone our chicken thighs. So again, this is an optional thing that you can do. If you wanted to just marinate your chicken straight away, then I would say go for that. On my street food stall on Turo Turo, chicken Inasal is our signature dish. So we're selling at least 80 to 100 portions, and we need to be able to cook it fast. So on our Japanese Conro grill, having the deboned chicken thighs is gonna cook in just a few minutes. So you won't need to marinate your chicken thighs as long as you would with the bone inside. We're gonna start with the chicken thighs now. So small deboning knife or small sharp knife. Just make sure you give it a few runs on the steel. Gonna use some gloves so you don't, get your hands all messy and mucky. Just keeps things a bit tidy. So you've got your chicken thighs. So there's 4 there. So these are quite large. So what we want to do is you just want to take off the skin here, so you kind of have it flat on its skin side down, and you can see where the bone is. The bone is just straight. And then you just want to run your knife along where you can feel the side of the bone and just make a cut. And you basically want to use the knife just to feel the bone. So as long as you're feeling the bone, so you're not cutting off too much chicken off. And then I'll just basically go and do the same on the other side. So you can see I'm almost like just exposing the bone and then cutting it away. And then you'll see that it's kind of lifting off at this point. So you can just take the side of your knife and scrape down the bone. Slowly start to cut around the knuckle, and that releases away just like that. So there's the bone. You can see now that the chicken thigh is already a lot more flat, so you can see how that's gonna reduce the cooking time. When you've cut the bone out, so you see the bone was just here, and then you'll see that your thigh will have all this excess skin. So if you want to remove that, pull out the side of the skin and give it one nice cut. Move the meat over so you can expose that chicken skin, make a cut. And the same again here. So you're left with this beautiful piece of boneless chicken thigh. You've got your bones, cartilage, and your skin. Keep your bones. The more bones you have, the more stock you can make. It's going to have a lot more flavor. So we've got our marinade. Now we can place our beautiful thighs, deboned, and place them in our marinade. And really make sure those ingredients are mixed up together. So there's the deboned chicken thighs into the marinade. Now you want to marinate the deboned chicken thighs, I would say a minimum of 4 hours. Cling film that, wrap it up, put it in the fridge. Okay guys, so what we're going to do next is we're going to make a basting butter. We're going to brush it over the top of our chicken thighs when we're ready to cook them. So what I have here is some softened unsalted butter, a little bit of caster sugar, and then I've got a few more limes and some garlic. First thing is I'm just going to pound the butter a little bit, just using the back of my spoon, just so that it can really work the ingredients into the butter. Very simple. So that's our softened butter. We're going to take the garlic. We are going to mince this down, and that's going to go into the butter as well. So we'll crush it. And then we're just going to, as fine as you can get it. You don't have to be too fine with it. But the finer the better, because the garlic flavor is going to break down. It's going to break down into the butter and really give us a nice flavor when we are cooking the chicken. So once you've cut the garlic down to this, you could put this in now. I'm going to quickly show you how to really mince it down using the knife. So this is quite good now. This is quite small, but if we really want to mince the garlic, we're going to take a little bit of, going to pop over here, a little bit of sea salt. So that's just going to crush over, and that's going to start to break down the garlic fibers. So now that we've got the sea salt in, we can start to use the knife just Just take it to the edge of your board and just literally like we're just smashing it. It's just a little bit more refined so that we can get the maximum flavor of that garlic. So there you go, that's our minced garlic. We'll get that into our softened butter. So there's the garlic. Never be afraid to put too much garlic. It's always better to have more, and you can mellow it out as you go. I'd really encourage you to use your instincts and always taste as you go so that you can add or take away things as you see fit. So we'll mix that in. So we're gonna take the limes and do what we did earlier. We're gonna roll them. So we'll put one for now and we'll taste. Get that into our butter. Now the marinade has vinegar in it already, so it's going to have a certain amount of citrus to it, but that glaze with the lime juice in there is just going to give it a little bit more fragrance. It's going to smell beautifully on the chicken, and it will also help to caramelize as well. We'll add a touch of our sugar just to balance out that sweetness, just a bit. Mix again, and then we'll have a little taste just to make sure we're happy. So to have a little taste. So it might be a bit strong with that garlic in there, but don't be scared. So you get that kind of raw garlicky flavor, but you want that strong, pungent garlic flavor because it's going to caramelize nicely as we cook it. Yeah. So our butter is ready now. We have got the garlic, the lime juice, the sugar, and it's ready for basting the chicken when we're ready to cook it. So now that our chicken is marinated, it's been marinating for at least 4 hours. We are ready to start cooking now. So what we're going to do first is we're actually going to pat dry the chicken. So you want to take your dish with a cloth, line the bottom, and then take this chicken. Just make sure you drain the excess, and then you just want to place it nicely into your cloth. So one of the reasons that you do this is basically we want to drain off the excess moisture, so that whenever you come to either barbecuing or frying or grilling, you don't have the water coming out of it, the liquid coming out of it too much, because it's going to react with the pan or the oil and it's going to spit. So we're trying to avoid that. And another reason why we pat dry is to dry the meat so that you can get a beautiful sear in it. So if you want to get that color, then you really want to be cooking your protein, whether it's meat or fish, you want to be cooking that as dry as possible. So once you've got that side, you can just take the other side of our cloth. And we're literally just lightly pressing it in there, get that extra moisture out, and you're left with, you can see already it's started to work. The chicken's gone a lot drier. So when we're searing the chicken on the grill or on the stove, that skin is going to be nice and dry, and it's going to get a beautiful caramelization on it, and give us lovely roasted flavors, lovely color. Once your chicken is pat dried there, we are going to be basically ready for cooking. So we can get rid of the marinade. You could keep this marinade, by the way, if you want to make a sauce. If you want me to do a video with that, showing how I can use the leftover marinade, pop it in the comments below and I'd be happy to show you. I've got this achuete oil here that I've already made. Achuete is a seed that comes from a little plant, and it's basically used in Filipino cooking to colorize things. So we steep the seeds in oil and like heat it up on a low flame, and the color comes out of the seed and it makes the oil beautifully red. So you can see there. So we're going to get a little container. I've got this nice little 1/6 container here. We'll put our pat dried chicken thighs in. Just place them in. And we are basically going to take some of this achuete oil. If you would like me to show you how to make this achuete oil, please drop it in the comments below. I'd be happy to make a quick recipe for you so that you can use this condiment. If you don't have the achuete oil, or if you can't find the seeds in the shops, you can just use normal oil. It's not an issue. This is mainly for the color. So we're just rubbing that in, and you can see immediately the color change straight. Look at that. And it just looks beautiful. It looks so nice on the chicken. And that is our chicken inasal ready for cooking. Our chicken is now marinated. We have pat dried it, and we've also put our achuete oil. I've got my basting butter, and I've got a little bit of sea salt. So we're gonna get our chicken here. I've got my tongs, we've got our non-stick pan, and our induction is nice and hot. I'm actually going to put no oil in the pan because it's non-stick and we've got oil on the chicken, so we're going to hopefully get a nice sear in it and you want to put it skin side down. So that's going to start to caramelize immediately. You can hear that sizzle. It means from the pat drying, that sizzling is going to have a lovely caramelization on it now. So I'm going to put some of this sea salt on. Just a nice crumble. You don't want to touch it too much. You want to get it on the skin side down. You want it to sear beautifully so that you can get a really nice crispy caramelization on it. Just to really get it a bit more browner. And if you're in here, you could smell those roasting flavors really coming through. Cool. So now that we're starting to get a little bit of caramelization on there, now I can start to flip them over. Now we can start to use our butter that we made earlier. We want to start glazing it up. So put a little bit more seasoning. And you can see the color, how strong it is. Use all those juices there as they're caramelizing, and tilt your pan back and just start to baste the chicken so that you're keeping the flavor to go into there. If you're not deboning your thighs and they're whole, what you want to do is you want to get it to this stage where it's caramelized and beautiful, and you're probably going to want to put them in the oven because they might be quite large and it's going to take a little bit longer, probably another 10 minutes to cook through. So I would caramelize them, get them into this pan and put them straight in the oven or put them onto a tray. So our chicken now is ready. It's ready to come off. We're just going to now rest it on the chopping board. Resting the meat on your chopping board is actually like another 30-40% of the cooking process. So really make sure you allow your meat to rest on the board, especially when you're cooking steaks, any meat really. You want the more you rest your meat, the better that the juices will start to distribute back around the flesh. So really be patient, and I will just quickly spoon some of this over just while the juices are resting, and then once that's rested for just about 3 or 4 minutes, the meat will be beautifully tender and we'll be ready to plate it. So our chicken is now cooked. It's been rested on the board. I've got my plate now ready to go. We've got a bit of banana leaf for decoration, and I've also got our special Filipino condiment, which is called pickled achara. It's a pickle used all over Filipino cuisine. It's really great for any fatty dishes, barbecue dishes, grilled foods, grilled fish. So now the meat's rested, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to plate. So we've got our lovely banana leaf here. That'll just go on nicely. We'll put the achara and then place that nicely just on the side there. Put a little bit more, and then we'll slice our meat. So probably for one plate, two thighs is enough. So we're going to slice the chicken now. 2 thighs is probably enough for this portion. Cut that nice big chunks. You can see it's nice and juicy. These are quite big thighs, so you might not need as much as you think. I'm going to place that next to it just to finish it off, because we got all those juices, you got all the flavor in the pan. You really want to get that back into your chicken. So I'm just going to really lovely glaze that over. We will cut a small lime wedge just to finish our chicken inasal dish. And you can have this with rice, so you can add rice to this if you'd like. You could have it as a salad if you just wanted to put some leaves on there, make it into a beautiful salad. I just wanted to show you the chicken inasal in its most basic form. So there you have it, guys. This is my take on chicken inasal. I hope you try and make this at home. Please let me know in the comments if you do, and I hope you enjoyed the dish. So what you have here is a coconut vinegar marinated chicken thigh with pickled papaya achara, and this is the first episode of my channel. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's brought a lot of value to you. I hope you've learned a little bit more about Filipino cuisine, and there's going to be much more videos like this. If there's anything in particular that you are looking for, that you would like me to make and that you would like me to teach you, drop them in the comments below. Please do subscribe to my channel. The support would mean so much to me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.